Welcome to the Regenerative Living Garden space. So today we're going to take a tour of our backyard and kind of give you guys an exclusive of all the awesome projects we're working on. Our main goal here is to create a demonstration site so we can show the city, / the county, and all those interested in how we can produce food and great yields, right? But also very healthy plants, and use little to no groundwater while recharging our groundwater. So lots of awesome goals here, but let's just take a look. So down here in the bottom, all these little dudes and dudettes, they are an alpine strawberry, a more ancient strawberry, and then we have a bunch of grapes, really tall weeds. Like I said, it's a work in progress. We've been working a lot back here in the garden, but there's always more to do. Spring just hit. So here's Julie, awesome future master gardener, as well as a heirloom vegan chef. Everything she produces has a beautiful story, as well as has a great heritage to it. It's really cool stuff. Here's our ovary. This is our womb, our birthing center for all our babies that we're preparing. Actually, if you want to check it out, so right now she's removing the seeds from last year's corn in order to produce some new corn. Climate acclimated, right? Grown locally. You can see giant piles of lemon, which I'll show you in a second. We removed our lemon tree, which was super diseased and sick and not producing very many lemons, so we will replace it with something super cool. Kiwis over here that we will be moving shortly. All these awesome strawberries are more, oops, sorry, I'm kind of in the shading out everything, but if you follow along this edge, all those are alpine strawberries that we just put in, and they came out of some pots I'll show you in a second, this being one of them. Here is where we make our biochar. As you can see, lots of char. How often do you see a fire pit full of char, right? And little to no ash. So that's our goal, little to no ash and a bunch of char, putting that stuff in our soil. Here we have a giant bag of pistachio shells that have been charred. We've got them from VGrid, which is a really super awesome company. They donated a bunch of this stuff to some field trials we're doing locally, and then recently they hired me. I was willing to accept because of their donations to the environmental causes that I'm all about. So if you want to help the environment, I want to help you. These are some Oyas from a super awesome company that, if you guys are interested, I'll put the link in the description as to how to get them with the promo code to get a little bit of a discount. It's covered in some compost, and here we're actually just inoculating all of this char with compost tea right now, but you can kind of see it's just an empty pot. Can't really see the bottom, but it's an empty pot, and it's unglazed, and they glaze the lid so that the water doesn't evaporate, and you bury these guys, and over time, well, actually it's not over time, so you bury these guys, and when you bury them, they slow release water as needed into the soil. So if the soil is dry, they release water. If the soil is wet, then they hold water. So super cool, way cheaper than irrigation, some primitive technology that still works today. Our tote full of seeds, some of our biochar prep material. Like I said, everything is kind of everywhere because we are just in super go mode. This guy is a little chipper, and he works really well for chipping like sunflower stems and corn stalks and really small stuff, and he's electric, so we're gonna get some solar panels working for him and try to keep things as sustainable as possible. The chainsaw right here is also electric. We're really trying to stay towards as much clean tools as possible. This guy right here is a super awesome auger, which helped us a lot with our community garden rainwater harvesting project, where we're digging out some ditches and creating a space that that not only allows our trees to get off groundwater, but actually recharges our groundwater. So we're like getting a double whammy. So back here we have some mini Oyas, and I just kind of got some corks to put in top so we don't get water evaporation, kind of like the big ones you just saw, but these are just small cute versions, little Ninja Turtle dudes, like them a lot. Some soil, if you guys are interested in the soil, like if you're in California, just forewarning, they do have like the Prop 65 type warning, like, hey, check it out, This is not for use in your organic crop food production in the state of California. But it's just because there's potential heavy metals that when we're using the charcoal and the incredibly awesome biology, I'm not really too worried about that as long as we're using it for our trees. So we don't use this in every mix, but this is a very specific mix that we produce for very specific purposes, and we'll get more into that in a different video. Future wood chipper that we just purchased this guy, but we'll be unloading it soon and showing you guys how it works. This is our fertility section. Let me get through here. So just mostly down to earth stuff. We really like down to earth. They're just basically ground up plants and meals from the forest. Stuff that you would find in the forest, feeding the forest is our goal. We're trying to make a forest, so we're mimicking nature. Hidden in that little basket back there is our biology section. We got tons of awesome biology in there that we multiply out with compost teas. Let's see what else. Sorry, it's still a mess everywhere, but again, work in progress. Some wood chip mulch that's starting to blacken up, and it's got some really rich fungal activity. So we're using this over our blueberries, strawberries, trees in order to kind of increase that humic acid content. Here's the future fig that will be going in the ground. Let's keep going. So let's just get a shot across so you guys can get an idea of what we're looking at. So we will be rainwater harvesting quite a bit soon, but we're just not there yet. I mean, we are using the ground as a awesome investment, like storage tank, but we haven't got to the artificial storage tanks yet, but we will, I promise. All these awesome pots are turmeric that we multiply out every year, and we trade / sometimes sell them, and then obviously eat the heck out of them. The leaves, I call them the bubblegum. I call it the bubblegum plant for the kids because the leaves are very edible and you can chew on it kind of like a bubblegum. It's super cool. So here's the lemon tree. It still, I guess, exists there to a point, but we've almost gotten rid of it. Me and my cousin are kicking its booty. Here is also our biochar kind of prep area. We have tons of material that we're letting dry out and getting ready to make some awesome char. So this is literally, so you can see it's concrete, right? And we covered it in wood chips, and then we put all these fabric pots, and then we started burying the fabric pots to kind of keep them a little bit more drought tolerant. Don't let too much of that water evaporate, because before we did that, there was a lot of evaporation. And as much as we can, I love those crimson red clovers, they're beautiful. But as much as we can, we are trying to lessen our water. Again, maybe our goal is to, if possible, not use any more groundwater. And so all these little baby pots, like actually this one's kind of, because it's got some strawberries that are perennial, but all the annuals that we got in these little beds, we are going to be pulling them out, and we're going to add a lot of char, some biochar to these guys to really lessen our water intake. We can't pull out the trees because that would probably not be very good for the trees, and plus they've already grabbed onto most of that soil. But we will be using Oyas for those guys to help them out, and so you guys got an idea of what's going on there. Actually, let's just take a little walk. So we're taking a walk. Hopefully you're not too blinded. Woo, there we go. So boop, if you guys take a look, see all the strawberries, beautiful strawberries around the trees. We're really trying to create a little ecosystem. Every tree has to have something growing underneath it. We don't want just trees planted. We want everything. We want a forest. So these purple cabbage actually came from a seed that was produced by a purple cabbage that we grew from the store. And holy jeez, best purple cabbage ever. So this Romanesco, it's a little infected with some aphids, but we don't mind. We don't water it or anything like that. We just pretty much ate as much as we could, and then let the rest go to the aphids for them to start breaking down and making all that poop. Because what is that poop? It's fertilizer. So we're gonna mulch all these plants, and then we'll use them later as a mulch. And we're not scared of aphids. Again, majority of our plants, when we take care of them, especially with the beneficial biology, the aphids can't mess with them. So this is just kind of like on purpose to allow this product to start breaking. We call this guy a product. This product to start breaking down as quickly as possible, and again, prepping some fertilizer because we're trying to get off buying fertilizer and start making it. Super cool. Right here we got some mallow. Great tissue paper because right now it's kind of hard to get it. Everyone knows, right, that COVID-19. So toilet paper is pretty much like an extinct animal, and so this is an ancient method of using toilet paper. So these beds, right here, trying to shade out that light. Those beds are full of snow peas, but we will be pulling them shortly, turning them into mulch, and then planting. Well, first, all of these beds here will be these are basically cover crops. So we'll be removing them, adding biochar, tilling it in, and then adding the mulch back and planting our babies when they're ready. These flowers, snow peas, I think it's called like Nusane something. It's an Italian variety. Some of the best snow peas on the planet. Highly recommend it. Got them from rareseeds.com. We may be selling them in the future, so stay tuned. Fava beans, definitely one of our, I think we ate all the beans off of them, so they're still flowering, but that's one of our favorites for munching on. We saute them. That's the heavenly light. There we go. So we got some passion fruit vines growing, and actually, so these berms here, I can't see my screen. Okay, so these berms right here are all new. We had forestry people, we had environmental groups, we had farmers, we had all kinds of awesome stuff. So look for the community rainwater harvesting project video, and you'll kind of see all of this taking place. Strawberries, blackberries, more passion fruit with an old ladder used as a trellis. Native bee pollinator, little dude right there. It was a gift for us. We really appreciate that so much. It was Julie's really close friend that gave it to us. I would name her. I forget. I'm sorry. But we thank you so much. It's such a great gift. We love it. This garden space, all these trees just make, and then the wood chips, it's all spongy. Feels so good on the feet. So blueberries, strawberries. We got to add more mulch. Again, this is a work in progress. It's just kind of let you guys know where we're at the start of spring, but we've been putting in a lot of work before spring to prep. And so we left some of this open so we can show you. So this is the rainwater harvesting project. Every single, like this tree right here is an island. That's an island. And you can see it's open right there. Let's hop, skip, and play like this is an awesome playground. Woo! Almost slipped. Gotta hop over here. Bam. All right. So back here is where we're going to be growing a bunch of sweet potatoes, Okinawan sweet potatoes from the 1600s, I believe. We're all about heirloom, so that's what we're trying to do. There's a Marionberry, and this is actually a mulberry from our neighbor that fruits like crazy, as well as that one too. So we're really happy when our neighbors can feed us. This is right now this is our microgreen section. It's not very micro. It's Austrian peas, known as a cover crop. Highly recommended as eating as an edible green. It's just so tasty, and it's actually one of my favorite greens now. Super tasty. We haven't watered it, so we have a little bit of biochar in there, and then obviously the combination of the rains as well. So we watered them when they were babies in little cups, and then we transplanted them, watered them in once, never watered again, and it's been like 6, 7, I think it's almost 7 months now. Can't say for certain, but at least 6 months. So 6 months guaranteed, no water, no groundwater used. That's so awesome. This dude's gonna provide us with some awesome fruits. Love it. So here, hidden in our snow pea, I should have backed up, but you guys kind of saw it a second ago. It's a moringa, actually, and so most people would say, or at least we were told, cover your moringa locally. It might die from the frost or from the cold weather. And so instead of covering it every single day back and forth, because we don't have time for that, we have so much projects. So I just insulated it with wood chips because it's not buried in the ground. So we covered wood chips around the pot, and then we insulated it with a bunch of snow peas on the outside. So we got all these are an ancient yellow alpine strawberry. I think it's called the Yellow Wonder. Super awesome. Oh, This tree, I'll show you in a second, but it was like a little stick last year, and now it's like, they told us in 3 to 5 years we'd feed our family. We fed our family in 1 season. Super cool. So this is a bunch of cover crops. We have mustard greens right here, and here, and there, and then more fava beans in the back. There was some red crimson clover. There we are. There they are. But they kind of got shaded out, so they're not really producing very much. And this is a shady area. This tree right here was producing a lot of shade. We just cut some of it back recently, so we're hoping once we cut the rest of it back, we'll open this all up with more light, which kind of made us be like, hey, let's plant more stuff. So right here and right here, this is actually a little island, and around it is my mulch moat. And you can't really see it anymore, but this is also part of the rainwater harvesting project, where we filled it with, well, actually, you'll see, watch our video on the community rainwater harvesting project, and you'll see how we did this. And then we'll also show a video on how we planted the blueberries. But yeah, so these guys, the idea with these guys is they'll eventually tap into our system, and our goal is get those roots 30 feet down. Blueberries with 30 feet long roots, right? Getting off water, getting off that the constant having to maintain in water. Rather, we're trying to again mimic nature and get it down so that we don't have to maintain anything. It's self-maintaining. So here's a plum that also was a little baby stick. It's not huge, but it still produced over 200 fruits the first year. So that was really cool. So all this super new. We actually, the wood right there, that was all a bunch of Douglas fir Christmas trees, and we ended up we inoculated them with turkey tail mushrooms in the hopes to grow a bunch of turkey tail mushrooms for our friend who sells turkey tail jewelry, and we were going to trade her, but unfortunately they wouldn't grow. So I think that maybe the fungicides that they treat the trees with were preventing the turkey tail mushrooms. So we're just like, hey, cancel that project because it's taking forever, and let's put this yellow peach that my dad really likes, as well as a strawberry, and then more blueberries, and we'll plant a bunch of other stuff around this area. We'll put kiwis. The whole fence line is going to be used. You will not see fence when we are done this year. You will see food. It's going to be epic. Lemongrass right here. And so let me walk back out here so you can see all of this material again that came off our lemon tree, and it's either going to be turned into mulch or into biochar. And so there's more material here. There was a giant pile here. There was all kinds of stuff, and we're lessening our stuff. It's pretty cool. So here again is our entrance. Let me flip around so we can see this section. Okay, so these 2 trees again were the ones that actually, and we cut off a lot of, especially in this one, cut a lot of mass off of it. It was almost double in size. It was huge, and again, it was a little baby stick. We always try to plant our fruit trees in the fall, right before the rain, allow their root systems to grow, so by the time the spring hits, there's no stress. They're just going, and that's what happened. So this tree went, and it took off, and man, I had to cut so much material back because the tree almost fell over. It got so big. It was this giant bush monster thing. But anyways, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed your tour. And I look forward to producing more videos for you guys. Stay awesome and have a great day.